Hi, today we're going to be talking about when you, as a step-parent, have a kind of gut reaction, a kind of fear, a kind of dread of your stepchildren coming over to visit. When in fact, actually, sometimes when they arrive, it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be. But in the meanwhile, you have this kind of, I don't want them round here. They're in my home and I don't want it. What do you do? Hi, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell and I'll let you know every time I post. Today we're going to be talking about when you sense deep-seated reaction to your stepchildren's culture. They arrive in your home and you don't like the potential influence they can have on any children of your own as a result of you and your partner having children, or any influence on any children that you might have had before. You have a kind of, I can't stand them in the house. They're an invasion. Every time they come, I get anxious before they come. I have a gut reaction when they do arrive. You have this kind of build-up of, I can't stand it. It's a bit like having to take an anti-rejection pill every day. While your stepchildren are in the home, you don't feel as though your home is your own or anywhere that you can relax. They have different ways of doing things, thinking, behaving. Their value system is different. Everything is really difficult for you to manage. What can you do about this situation? Well, you know, when you're in this situation, it can build. And it can become a mountain when it need only be a small hill. But the fact of the matter is that to a degree you're stuck, because it's that business of you knew what you were getting into, but you didn't. You didn't expect to have this kind of reaction. And this reaction can get a lot worse if you have children of your own, because you really don't want this other influence, this other culture around you. You want your culture, and you want to make your family culture with your current partner and not have to accommodate other cultures. So it is difficult, and you knew what the situation was before you went into this partnership, but suddenly you're overwhelmed by this huge wave, quite often as a result of having had children of your own. And it is difficult because there's only a limited amount of stuff you can do about this. I mean, they are around. They are going to come and visit. They are your partner's family as well. And it's kind of really difficult to negotiate your way out of this kind of culture clash that so often happens in step families and so often takes a step parent by surprise. So what options are there available? Well, one of them is to work hard at not making it a mountain when it just needs to be a hill. Often, stepchildren, you can fear their arrival, and it's not as bad when they're here. So my guidance to you here is to seek out the things that you actually don't mind about them, the things that you find as pluses about them. And that's tricky especially when you're in a heightened sense of, I don't want them and I can't stand them and they're making me feel awful. But if you keep the negative stuff as much under control as possible and grow the stuff that you do like about them, then it can lower the stress levels. That might mean that you work out the kinds of things that you do like doing together and do more of it, and put a stop to the stuff that you don't like them doing in the house, or their habits or the way they say things. You can analyse it and address it sometimes. The other way is to manage the situation, to recognise it for what it is, to recognise that you're finding it a very tough thing to do, and there's no shame in that, but to organise things so that as far as possible you can, the visiting children can be as little influence as possible. I mean, maybe you have a free and easy way where they can pop over any time they want. Maybe if you're having so much difficulty, that needs to change and they need to come at pre-appointed times. Sometimes it would be better for your partner to see them 1 or 2 days during the week after school and take them out somewhere, rather than every weekend or every other weekend, or for your partner to arrange to do things with them at the weekends, and so you manage the timing so it's as best as possible for you. This is really not an easy problem to solve, because there is no solving. You've got to live with what you've got and make the best of it. If your partner can see that you're having difficulty like this and you can share it with him, then working with him on the solutions, him or her, on the solutions, can be very helpful. There's nothing wrong with actually not getting on with the culture of a previous family. It's just the way it is. It isn't a negative. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a criticism of them. It's just that they're different, and you and your partner and your children want to have a different experience. And getting your partner alongside and with you so you can develop a culture of your own with your own family with a bit of confidence will then help you, because your partner can then manage his children and integrate them better and manage the time so that they're not always with you when they're around. It's a tricky one. We run workshops, sessions, we write booklets, and we have an email response service. Links to our website and social media you can find in the description box below.